Man, and you know it also gives me some excitement.
What happened?
The London games this week, OC.
The experience itself was absolutely fantastic, man. We loved it.
In the playoffs, he was the best player, right?
Okay.
He was killing in the playoffs last year. The regular season, it was shaky. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Jason and OC podcast, brought to you by 888 and Lazy Boy, the official partner of the NFL UK and Ireland. I got my boy OC here, and it's about to go down. How you feeling, my brother?
Feeling pretty good, man. How about yourself?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm ready to go.
Really? Did you eat? What'd you have to eat today?
I had a smoothie earlier, but I'm about to hit a little protein after the pod.
Protein and veggies?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah. Staying carb free early
Nice
in the
and
day.
slim? Is
Yeah,
that what it
I gotta stay slim.
Is that why your neck looks like that,
Did you say
J-Bell?
I got the pencil neck again?
Pencil neck, bro.
Man. You know that's when you got to get back on your weights right.
Nah, bro. That's how I used to look when you were dancing. Strictly Come Dancing. You had the little pencil neck. You got that now, J-Bell.
Bro, I lost so much weight on Strictly.
You did.
And I remember coming to do the show, and you said, "J-Bell, you too slim, bro.
Yeah,
You got to get right."
man. Bro, and you got a daughter. You gotta get big, man.
You're right, man. Hey, man. Hey, it's real, man. You gotta look dominant, man.
What?
I had a face off the other day in the school line, man. I'm not gonna get into it, but it was a little conflict I had,
Yeah, of
and
course.
I had to stand tall.
Yeah, there was no deterrence, man.
No, and I seen Anaya look up at me, and she just smiled. I was like, "Oh, this is what it's about." I went home and got on the bands and just started getting the curls.
Girls. Oh, man. Incredible.
Get ready for the show. Get ready for the Lazy Boy game of the week. We got the Vikings at the Green Bay Packers. Let's go, OC.
Right, here we go. Early in the first quarter, 1st and 10. The Vikings marching. Sam Darnold, you try to throw me away, but I'm going to show you how to throw. And it's a touchdown to Jordan Addison, J-Bell.
Jordan Addison in one-on-one coverage. Why? Because they're trying to double Justin Jefferson on the other side. He hit him with a stutter and go, and he made him stutter, and he went go. Touchdown.
What did the stutter sound like?
The stutter sound like...
In the first quarter, 2nd and goal. My main man, Sam Darnold, standing tall in the pocket, looking and delivering a strike. Josh Oliver touchdown, J-Bell.
Great play design down here. When you see the replay, you're going to see him look like he's blocking right here. Just that little look right there. He fools the defense and comes open. Good play call by Kevin O'Connell.
To the second quarter we go, and this time it is not going to be a pass. Sam Darnold handing the ball off. Jordan Addison makes one-man mission. He's going to scamper into the end zone.
Ooh, he was balling in the first half of this game. Jet sweep, they call it. Jordan Addison getting on the edge quickly. It's his ability to get speed laterally that makes this play happen, and he deserves all the accolades because of it. Look at him putting the end man on the line in conflict, making somebody miss, and accelerating to the end zone.
Still in the second quarter, Jordan Love coming off that injury, standing in the pocket. Ooh, threw it too high, and the receiver dropped it. Intercepted by Griffin.
And you are talking about something that was apparent. The injury by Jordan Love. He did not want to get hit. Look at him. He had pressure by Cashman. It made him short the throw, and he came up with a big interception from Shaq Griffin. This is what the Minnesota defense does to you. It's the pressure and the coverage in the back. As OC always says, it's a perfect marriage.
Still in the second quarter, Sam Darnold look at him standing in the pocket, and guess who he's going to find his favorite? Oh my goodness, what a throw. Justin Jefferson, and give it to him, Justin.
OC, look at that.
I love that.
The dance of the year, we can't wait to see him do that here in London. But you talked about this throw, OC. Just look at the precision on this. He threw it right at the back of the defender's helmet. One of the best fade routes you'll see in the NFL this season.
50 seconds left to go. 4th and 2. Green Bay lining up to punt the ball, and that is a beautiful punt. Watch what it does to the punt returner. Confuses him. He drops the ball, J-Bell, and the Green Bay Packers are going to pick it up.
Special teams for special players. Big time punt, but it is the misjudgment. My number 83 Naylor. The sun hit him in the eyes. He should have let the ball go. This is a game-changing, momentum-changing play, we got a game on our hands now.
Uncle Mo still on the side of the Green Bay Packers now. Second quarter, 20 seconds left. Jordan Love, I love you. What a beautiful play. Jaden Reed, J-Bell.
Jalen Reed with the big-time catch, and this formation was a bunch. Means 3 receivers are together. You had a little miscommunication, a little hesitation, and he came through with the big-time catch. I love this play design. I love the throw, and you got to love it when your receiver goes up top and comes down with the rock.
To the fourth quarter we go, 11:42 left, 3rd and 1. Oh, and the Saints. Oh, and the Saints. Oh, and the Saints go marching in. Wicks with a I don't know why I said the Saints. It's the Packers, but Packers touchdown, J-Bell.
Oh, yeah, and they looking swaggy right there. These young receivers can play. You cannot quit when you got number 10 at the quarterback position. He's going to give you life.
Still in the fourth quarter, 2nd and 3. Jordan Love is going to dump the ball off to Tucker Kraft, and he's going to stiff on one guy and run another one over. Straight into the end zone, J-Bell.
Tucker Kraft said, let's get physical, physical. I want to get physical, as he dominated his way into the end zone like some good, old, tasty Kraft mac and cheese.
Well, that was some good stuff right there.
You like that?
You used to have mac and cheese?
Oh, it was so tasty.
You know you can't eat mac and cheese.
No, not anymore, bro. Not anymore.
It's your weak stomach. In the fourth quarter, 10-16 to go. Jordan Love, the 2-point conversion, 28-20, but they're going to tie it right here, and it's Kraft again, J-Bell, 28-22.
Going back to your big target number 85, you see the crossing route right here. It's called a mesh route, and he comes open in the end zone because the defenders get a little confused on who to pick up.
1st and 10. Jordan Love standing in the pocket. Pressure comes, try to make something happen, and Byron Murphy Jr. with the interception, J-Bell.
We talked about this defense. We praised him. My man, our man who gave us a great interview, Harrison Smith, off the edge with the pressure, causes the hesitation by Love to throw it early. This defense likes to bring pressure and confuse in the back. They came through big time. They changed the momentum of the game.
After a field goal by the Vikings, the Packers now trying to march in. Jordan Love backpedaling. The pressure comes again, and he throws a strike. Dontavian Wicks, touchdown, J-Bell.
Osi, there is no quit in this game. Jordan Love showing the Green Bay Packers and their fans that they are all about the fight. I'm telling you, this guy coming back on injury, you got hope because he can put you in a position to win the game.
But not enough time. Runs out on the Green Bay Packers, and the Minnesota Vikings are going to take a knee and a great outlasting victory, J-Bell.
Coming into London undefeated. Osi, can't wait to see them in London, but I got something for you.
What you got for me, J-Bell?
I know you like speed.
I do.
So we're going to call this segment Need for Speed. It's going to be the NFL 4x100, the fastest 4 players in the NFL this week.
Okay.
Are you excited?
I can't wait to see this.
All right, here we go.
These are the fastest 4, huh?
Fastest. Okay, number 1 is Xavier Worthy of the Kansas City Chiefs. We talked about this guy all season long coming out of the draft. He can fly, and he went for 21.46 miles, Osi.
That's pretty fast right there, J-Bell. 21.46.
That guy is straight flying. Trust me, Patrick Mahomes is happy he has him. Look at him on a go route. A little hesitation and go, Gadget. Up next, not to be outdone, is our man Derrick Henry, who goes for 21.29 miles an hour. Look at the big boy go, Osi, outrunning everybody.
That's ridiculous, man. A man that big is not supposed to move that fast, unless, of course, your name is Osi Umenyiora.
Oh, man, he is rumbling. He is tumbling. Look at him. As soon as he accelerates through this hole, it is bye. Look at how smooth he looks. Can you imagine all the years in the NFL he's had, all the hits he's taken, and he can still run like this?
It's ridiculous, J-Bell. Bye.
Next up, Saquon really, at 21.17 miles an hour. Look at him explode. He still got it, Osi. I mean, we talked about him. This is what the spark he brings to this offense. He can fly.
You know who could have used him? The Giants. They could use a play. They could use a player like that, J-Bell. I wonder why he's not on the team.
Saquon showing the speed, letting everybody in New York know what we're missing, and that is explosiveness. He is flying. And last up, I got a newcomer. Osi, this might be a surprise.
Okay.
At 21.09 miles an hour, it is Ladd McConkey, number 15, the receiver from the Chargers on a crossing route, just getting busy, Osi.
First of all, that is a surprise because never mind.
You know what? In the NFL, there's a place for everybody.
Yeah, he's fast.
Ladd making it happen. He really gave their offense a spark. Hey, fastest 4 players in the NFL this week. They should get their reward, and their reward is they are honored in our segment called Need for Speed.
That is not a reward.
Osi, does that make you feel a little faster or slow?
That right there?
Yeah.
You know, it makes me feel slow now, but I remember when I used to be able to run. You know, like I should be able to run like that, J-Bell.
I remember when you used to come out before the games, and you were one of the big Nike guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got all the special stuff, and you would have the gold cleats on for your warm up, and the towel.
Yeah.
I knew what time it was.
You know what time it was.
And I was excited.
Yeah.
Because I knew we were gonna ball.
Yeah, I used to do that to intimidate offensive linemen.
It worked.
Yeah,
it made me
a guy like that with those kind of shoes on and the towel. You be like, oh, it's gonna be a long day.
It was a long day for him for sure. But like I said, it gave me some security and excitement. And you know, it also gives me some excitement.
What happened?
The London games this week,
London
Osi.
games.
We got the New York Jets versus the undefeated Minnesota Vikings. Of course, the Jets got probably a Hall of Famer in Aaron Rodgers coming out here.
Probably, that is for sure.
Great quarterback, defense. They've got their struggles, but this team could turn it on, especially in the adverse situations they're in. Before we dive into that, you've played here. You were the first regular season game.
First regular season, Giants versus the Dolphins.
Tell me about your experience.
Well, the week itself was incredible. I remember we came out, you know, we were doing all types of stuff. We stayed the whole week. We were going out.
Different times.
It was like, there's just no way these guys are playing a game. it was like preseason, essentially, right?
Right.
That's exactly what it was like. But we bonded. You know, we had a good time. We were around each other all the time. And at that time, you know, during the season, you never really get to spend that much time with your teammates, right? Everybody just kind of goes home. But here we were always together. It was really cool. We get to the field. The field was a mess, right? Slippery, people slipping everywhere. The Dolphins were a terrible team. It was just overall, it was just a bad game. But the experience itself was absolutely fantastic, man. We loved it.
You make a good point, and I want to bring our listeners in, our viewers in. You talk about that bonding experience all the time, and you see teams come here, and it's a pivotal change.
Yeah.
For the better, sometimes for the worse. But you get to learn a lot about yourself, a lot about your teammates. And that game changed your season. You went on to win your first Super Bowl off the back of that game. Now, you came in on 2 losses before that, or a loss?
I don't remember, actually.
What was the record before you came in here? But that was a pivotal game.
I think we came on a winning streak, actually. I think we did come on a win. Because you know how we would always go on those we would go on those like 5-6 game winning streaks. I think we came in on that, and I think maybe like a game after that we lost.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I will tell you this, though. When I think back on that game, and now, you know, when we go to Wembley or we go to Tottenham and we look around, everything is changed.
Yeah.
It's such a completely different environment. It's like a real fixture now, a regular season. Then it was more like just entertainment. But now it's like a real thing. And the way these games have really transformed here have been magnificent, Jay. You
know, one thing I'm glad you talked about is that you've seen it all. And because of that, you're being honored in the Ring of Honor. I am, right? Yeah. Now, you've done so much for the game here, so much for the game internationally. You're going to have your name in 2 different stadiums. You're already in the Ring of Honor in New York for the Giants. Now here, tell us what that feels like.
You know, I was speaking to and you guys you're probably going to see this interview. I was speaking to Jared Allen, and he's another guy who's going into the Ring of Honor out here. And I said to him, he's a Hall of Famer. He's going to the Hall of Fame. And I said, there's a lot of people in the Hall of Fame. You know how many people are in the Ring of Honor here? It's only two of us, J Bell.
I love it.
And, just to be honored in that way, it's hard to describe. One of my friends, he sent me a message when he found this out, and he was like, OC, all you can hope for when you leave this earth is for people to say you made a difference.
Man.
That's all you can hope for.
Yeah.
And that one hit me because they're basically saying I made a difference in this particular field. And to me, that's just it's a magnificent thing. I'm really happy about that.
I'm honored to be doing this with you. I see the difference you have made, the sacrifice you've made, and there's not enough people can do to kind of really honor that, but this is a step in the right direction. You talked about the growth and how it looks different. The NFL Academy has a game this week. There's over 1,000 tickets that have already been sold.
Already.
It's versus De La Salle, a huge high school in California, one of the best. And this is a direct result from all of that work that you've done. So if you get a chance to check that out, you should. It's going to be amazing. And, it wouldn't be here. That academy would not be here if OC didn't have the foresight and the effort that it took to do that.
And shout out to Alistair also.
Yeah,
Alistair
Kirkwood, man. It was his brainchild, man, and he deserves all the accolades. Hey, man, you had this interview with Jared Allen, man. What was it like?
Really cool. I really enjoyed that interview. And the reason why I say this is because Jared was a big-time defensive end at the same time that we were, right? But he was more productive. Like every single year he was putting up 14, 15, 16 sacks, and we would sit in our meeting room, we would just hate on him flat out. We'd be like, this is ridiculous. Like, how? You know what I mean? Like, we had to share our sacks. Like, he's there by himself, and so huge respect for him, the player that he was, and just talking to him, man, it was really fun to talk to another defensive end of your caliber.
He's going in the Ring of Honor with you. Let's check out that interview right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the one, the only. First of all, even before I go into this whole introduction, I have to say this, man, because this is our first time really having a conversation, right? And I watched you for so many years. And pass rushers, defensive ends, we all know each other, but we've never really had a conversation. So it is an honor, my pleasure, to be having this conversation with the greatest defensive end of our generation, our time, Jared Allen. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. Thank you so much. I appreciate the kind words. I was just trying to keep up with the rest of you guys,
Okay, so let's get into it, man. The most iconic celebration I think we've seen in a while, the little rodeo. Where does that come from?
Yeah, so I grew up on a reining cutting horse ranch, but I grew up, one of my dad's buddies taught me to calf rope when I was young. So I grew up doing a little calf roping and stuff like that. And so, I can't take full credit for it because Neil Smith, they were inducting Neil Smith into the Ring of Honor when I was in Kansas City. So we were playing the Chargers and I got a couple sacks and I did his home run celebration, right? So we went to dinner afterwards and he was just, man, so thank you so much for honoring me, doing my celebration. He's like, you got to come up with like an iconic celebration for yourself. So I was talking to some buddies back home and I'm like, dude, you grew up roping, like, just tie them up. And I was like, yeah, that's awesome. So started doing it. It stuck. And, then had to modify a little bit because the NFL got mad at me for, putting my knee on the ground for some reason. So anyways, that's how it stuck. That's how it came around. And it was authentic. So I think people originally, related to it and liked it.
Okay, excellent. So you're coming over here this week and both of us are actually going into the international International Ring of Honor. So fantastic achievement. But I have to ask you this. You're going into the Hall of Fame pretty soon. If you don't, it's a crime, right?
Yeah.
There are a lot of people in the Hall of Fame. How many people do you think there are in the International Games Ring of Honor?
There's going to be
only
two. There's only going to be two. It's going to be you and I. You and I love it. I think I was more excited about this than the 4 times I've been a finalist for the Hall of Fame. They told me I was a finalist this summer, and I was like, "Oh, this is awesome!" So the international game, the London game now they call it the international game. It was the London game when we were playing, right? It was the only international game they had. Man, it was such a great experience. I still remember it. I remember the fans being nuts because we were traveling over there. I'm thinking like, how's this going to be? I mean, first of all, Wembley, we played at Wembley, right? I mean, it was an iconic stadium. And so to go over there and then see the fan presence, I mean, they had every team jersey represented, but they knew when to cheer, all this stuff. And so I was back, I played in 07. I played in 13, I believe it was. And so, I mean, we had so much fun. And then, my family and I, we love Europe, just in general. We love traveling and being over there. So, this was cool. I was like texting Denise, my brother. I'm like, hey, did you find the end? Did I get in? Like, where are we at with this? Good excuse to go to London. So yeah, I'm excited for it. I think it's such a cool deal. I think for multiple reasons, right? There's been so many games now. I think they've been going for like almost 20 years.
Yep.
I know the work you've put in on the NFL side, right? In the corporate office side to help expand it and grow it over there, which is awesome because I mean this game, there's no reason this game shouldn't live, especially in the Europe regions. I mean, I remember guys, you probably have the same stories as when they were playing NFL Europe talking about it was the most fun they ever had playing football.
Yep.
And we saw some great players come out of that kind of farm system. So I'm excited for it. I think it's a great representation of our sport. And I'm glad that, myself and then you, when I found out it was you, I was like, oh, I'm booking it. We'll book in it. Let's get it.
Incredible.
So I'm excited. I'm excited to be a part of it and the inaugural class. And I think it's also cool to know what you did stands the test of time, right?
Now, you got drafted to the Kansas City Chiefs, had some very good years there, but most people will remember you for being a Minnesota Viking. Now, as we said earlier, you guys are coming over, and your main rivals, the Green Bay Packers. Talk to us a little bit about Aaron Rodgers, because I know you sacked him quite a few times. It was a big rivalry between you guys. Tell us a little bit about Aaron.
Yeah, so, I mean, the fact that he's still doing it is great. I always like to see longevity in the league. I need him to have the same performance he had against the Broncos. I need the offense to be sputtering. If the Vikings could come back 5-0, I don't think any of us saw that one coming. So hats off to Crazy, the whole coaching staff, and Kevin, and just the entire organization for what they were able to put together. Because I think a lot of people thought it was going to be a down year for them. So I think with Aaron though, it's live by the sword, die by the sword.
Yep.
As great quarterbacks have this innate. First of all, they get rid of the ball fast, but they also hold on to the ball at the same time. So if Aaron's in rhythm and he's getting rid of the ball quick, if you're not stopping him, it's going to be a long day. But Aaron's also cocky enough and good enough to know he's going to take that shot. Yep. He's not going to sit there and be satisfied with slant, little 4-yard dinks and dunks and outs like that. At some point, he's going to go for it. At some point, he's going to try to extend a play. And so you have to be ready to take advantage of that. And then with Aaron, I think if you can get pressure on him, because I think he's so competitive, especially with the new team. You're in New York, and I think you see what happened with the Broncos. I think sacked him like 5 times, right? He gets frustrated. He starts getting mad at other players. I mean, I can remember Tom Brady dog cussing his line out, right? Peyton shaking his head because they aren't used to having pressure in their face. They're not used to being behind the 8 ball, right? So I think with Aaron, you got to get him early. You got to hit him early. You got to put bodies around him. Because if you let him get in rhythm, it's going to be a long day. And then the Jets have enough talent to make it easier for him. Now it's probably going to be there, try to get back to that. So, but again, you're going to have chances with him. He's going to want the deep ball. He's going to do some things that you're going to have chances with. And I think Brian Flores is doing a heck of a job. Just throwing the kitchen sink at people. I mean, I love the tenacity. I love how aggressive they are. And again, I think that which again could be, it'll either be very successful or could be a long day. If Aaron picks it up and he's hot and he's got those guys, picking up all the blitzes, it could be a long day for the Vikes just because Aaron's that talented. But I think you can have success to him if you can get to him early and if you can get him frustrated and get him pointing fingers at other people, you got a chance.
So how surprised are you that the Vikings are 4-0? Like, I don't think anybody saw this one coming. Like, tell us a little bit about that.
No, what? So I've been saying this when they hired Kevin O'Connell as the coach. I saw what he did in those first years. I think they went 13-3 the first year, right?
Yep.
And defense was playing great. Everything was going, but you could see, and you talk to people around the organization, the way he carries himself, the way he's very player friendly, but he's also very quarterback not he obviously played quarterback in the league, right? So, but he's very knowledgeable and he understands how to manage that quarterback position. You see what he got out of Kurt, right? You see what you could see when Kurt went down, and when they were bringing guys in off the street, and they still managed to go dang near 500 with guys we've never even heard of.
Crazy.
So when you take a talented guy, Darnold obviously has talent, he's a high draft pick, and then JJ goes down. Honestly, I think JJ going down was probably the best thing for both of them, because now there's no pressure on JJ. There's no pressure on Darnold because he's the guy. Right. And now, Coach McConnell gets to sit there and put his offense in around what they're good. And then the way you're playing defense. So, I think we knew we were going to have a good defense. Losing Danielle Hunter was tough. Obviously, what he does, another great pass rusher. But you've seen what I'll give him credit for, the guys they picked up. This is always kind of how I view how your free agency goes or what kind of coaching staff you have. You see a lot of times guys that move team, get picked up in free agency, get traded or whatever, and then you have down years. And they think, the player was but it was not always a player. A lot of times you're going into a system or a different style of coaching that doesn't really mesh with your routine or what you've done to be successful. So the fact that they have multiple free agents on the defensive side coming in and even offensive side and playing good ball is a testament to the coaching staff saying, okay, here's what we have. What do we need to give them to be successful, right? How do we tweak our plans to make our players successful? And you see it working with the Vikings right now. And then again, it makes it easier to play quarterback when you got a guy like Justin on the edge. Just throw it up. Just throw it up and let the guy
let him go get
all the catches. So, it's fun to watch. I think I was expecting them to have some success, not sitting 4-0 by any means. But again, hats off to the coaching staff, because at no point did they talk about rebuilding. This was a retooling year, and they went out and got the tools, and they're using them to the best of their ability.
Absolutely. Now, before we go, I'm going to put you on the spot here, right?
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to put you on the spot. I want to see how you view defensive ends, okay?
Okay.
So we're going to start from a little old school. Who was better, John Abraham or Dwight Freeney?
Oh, wow. Those are two totally different players. Better. So I'm gonna take the latter years of everybody's career off.
Okay. Prime.
I would say Dwight Freeney in his prime was one of the most dominant presidents, because he was doing things that we hadn't seen yet. Right. So Freeney's a few years older than me too, but so when he came in, I can remember what he was doing to Jonathan Ogden. Yep. Nobody treated Jonathan Ogden the way Dwight Freeney treated Jonathan.
That was crazy, right? Yeah, I remember.
And so for him to do that and have a spin move that was so violent and so insane was that's all. I'll tip the hat there. Now Abraham was he was a man child.
Underrated.
He had a couple of years span where you're just like, oh my gosh, this might be the most athletic human being on the face of the earth, and just mean, right? Mean.
A beast.
So I will. If I'm looking at it that way, I'm going Freeney, because I think Freeney gave that smaller, faster DN a distinct presence in the NFL, right? He showed people a different way to beat people, and it was fun to watch.
DeMarcus Ware, Jared Allen.
We're identical. We literally have identical paths. We have identical careers. We played the same amount of years. I think he has me by like 2 sacks. Then I have him in a whole bunch of other categories. So I'm a massive fan of DeMarcus Ware. He beat me in the Super Bowl. But I was right with myself.
Okay, last one. Jason Taylor, Simeon Rice.
Ooh, I'm a huge Jason Taylor fan. Massive Jason Taylor fan. Again, you look at the long arm progression that came from Jason Taylor, right? Yep. Again, you got a guy who is who for me was one of the main guys I studied. And you mentioned too, Ware, and I watched so much tape on Ware and Jason Taylor, because that was how I operated. That was how I beat people. So Jason Taylor, in my hands down, or in my opinion, is one of the best all time ever, just because he was that different build, right? He was that lengthy, tall, lengthy, lean guy that was just, it was like watching art, right? It was so smooth. It was so, you're like, what did he actually even do? He just kind of moved his hands like this, and he was like by the quarterback, right? So Jason Taylor he's always on a pedestal in my book.
Golly, this is fascinating. I could do this all day, man.
Yeah.
This is so cool.
I feel bad. I feel like I didn't give Abraham his love. Like, Abraham was nasty. But, you take, again, I mean, when I came in the league in 2004, Freeney between like 2002 to even, I mean, I'm not shortening it on purpose, but from my recollection, like from like 2 to like 8, like that.
Ridiculous.
Was nuts,
Ridiculous.
Right? And I was in the NFC then, and I just remember this guy like, what on earth? And I'll never forget, I came in my second year. I was trying to spit like Dwight Freeney, and my coach looked at me. He's like, he turned up to me and said, if you ever watch the Dwight Freeney film again, you're cut. Like, you're out of here. You will not spin. You do not spin. You don't run a 4.4. You're not 6'2". We're not. Don't ever watch the Dwight Freeney film again.
That is so crazy. You know, so funny. I actually tried to copy your move and his, and I couldn't do neither.
You did all right. We had a couple battles for the top of Pro Bowl.
Yeah, we did.
I always loved you because you rocked an old school nasty number. Like, you never want to be in the 90s. I think that 72 was where it was at.
Man, Jared, I can't wait till you get out here, man. This is going to be fun. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing you, buddy. It's been too long.
Yep. Thank you, man. Thank you for coming on. See you soon, man. Appreciate it.
See ya.
Osi, I call you Osi Winfrey because of your interview skills. We appreciate that. Man, I've stole so much of your techniques, it's not even fair anymore. I don't even want to talk about. But what I do want to talk about is the teams that are currently 4-0.
Okay. Let's
start with the Vikings, who beat the Packers, our game of the week, 31-29. They started fast. They were explosive. They had a 28-point lead in the first half. They kind of went to sleep in the fourth quarter, but Jefferson gave them life. I love that. I love when your big players step up, find a way. The Packers offense took too long to heat up. Obviously, Jordan Love coming back from the injury, but they scored 22 points in the fourth quarter. Now, Sam Darnold, Sammy D.
Yep.
Osi.
Sammy D.
20 for 28, 275 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, an interception. But Aaron Jones, he got loose. He had 22 carries, the running back Aaron Jones. This was his revenge game against the Packers. He had 93 yards rushing, 4 receptions for 46 yards. I'm telling you, this dude is going to be fantastic to watch out here in London. And Jordan Love, 32, he threw the ball 32 out of 54. That's too many times throwing the ball, right? For 389 yards. When you see that many throws, you're always chasing points. He had 4 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. All right, Osi, I threw all those stats at you because I know I need to make a point. Okay, I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm trying to make a point. We look at Sam Darnold, the way he's playing, 4-0. This offense is clicking. It's ticking. We talk about Justin Jefferson. We talk about Aaron Jones. The O-line is playing well. But every game, it's when does Sam Darnold turn into a pumpkin?
Yep.
Is it going to be this week? You know, he's thrown some passes that should have been intercepted. You know, when is this snowfall going to happen, right? This avalanche. Why don't we celebrate him? Why are we, a lot of people in the media that aren't Minnesota Vikings fans per se, continually trying to set him up for the misstep that he should have?
So, a couple of things. I think, first, that great Jay-Z line. We don't believe you. You need more people. I think that applies to Sam Darnold here.
I know it.
It's very difficult to have seen his struggles before and equate that to what we're seeing right now, right?
Yes.
We know that Minnesota has a great coach. We know they have a great head coach and a guy who's worked with people. We really shouldn't be surprised that this is happening because Sam Darnold is number 3 pick overall. Incredibly talented football player, right?
Yes.
So we shouldn't be surprised. And we say this all the time. Hey, this guy could be bad in one situation, go to another situation, and be really, really good. We've seen that with Baker Mayfield. We see it with a lot of people. But for some reason, we're just not giving Sam Darnold the benefit of the doubt simply because of what we've seen him do in so many other places before. Could this be different? Yes. Should it be different? Yes, because he has all the talent in the world. I think this might be his team, man.
You know, I love these kind of conversations because when we look at life, when we talk about judgment, we both have kids, and you're trying to teach young people not to let their circumstances dictate their situation, right? And if you make a mistake, just forge forward. It's all about the effort. And we preach that in society. You know, don't blame, you know, work on this, work on that. But yet in sports, we categorize you and we close the door.
Yep.
We literally say, oh, this is who you are.
He's lazy.
You can't change. You can't get better. You can't improve. You can't be fixed.
Yeah.
That's what we do in sports.
Yeah.
But yet, we're seeing a situation where you're in an environment where either you're getting coached better, you have a better organization around you, a better circumstances, all that, and you improve. We just can't accept that.
Yep.
Why? What is it?
It's laziness, man. It's laziness. And I'm guilty of it.
Yeah.
Right? I'm guilty of it. But realistically, I shouldn't be. I think even when I was playing as a defensive end, right? Because I was fast and I come off the edge, there was a misconception that I didn't play against the run well, right? And I would see it continuously get put out there that this guy doesn't.
Yeah.
And in my head,
true.
I remember Dave Tollison, who's like one of my best friends.
Yep.
And he would be in there, we'd be in the meeting room, and he'd be like, man, Osi, that is great run defense. Like, you play the run so well. Why do people say these? But it's like, once it gets out there, that's just what sticks.
Period.
And it followed me throughout my whole career, man. And I think you see this happening to people over and over and over again. It's laziness.
Yeah.
We don't want to do the work. We don't want to see what we don't want to believe. And we believe that this guy's a bust. And so no matter what he does, we're just going to put him in that box. It's ridiculous.
Such a solid point, because we always talk about this and reference this. People are lazy. People look at social media and that is their news. They don't want to read articles. They want you to summarize it in 3 sentences, which you can't do. So when people are out there doing that, they believe these narratives because they're not watching the tape.
Yeah.
They're not doing the work to evaluate. When you look at another 4-0 team, the Chiefs beat the Chargers 17-10 in a comeback win. That was Patrick Mahomes' 100th career start. Amazing, right?
Okay.
He's played a lot of time. Travis Kelce played a little better. He's had a lot of heat on him. 7 receptions for 89 yards. The big story, Rashid Rice going out with an injury. That really is going to throw off their offense.
Yes, it is, man. But I think Worthy is a worthy competitor. I think he's going to be able to spread the field for him. But I think the story here, when we're talking about the Kansas City Chiefs, is Patrick Mahomes.
Ooh, it is.
Right? I think the story is Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes isn't playing that well. Remember that thing that we did last year?
Yeah, you tried to get me to confess that verbally.
He's not playing that well. And people seem to be afraid to say Patrick Mahomes isn't playing that well. But we know that at the end he's going to be there, and at the end he's going to be playing well. So are people giving him a pass? Because everybody keeps on saying how he's the best quarterback in football. We've been saying that for a number of years now. But during the regular season, he really hasn't played like the best quarterback in football. So is it because that he performs in the end? Is that what makes him the best quarterback in football, Jason?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's a fair point.
Because when you were describing that, breaking it down, as you always do eloquently, I was thinking of a boxing match.
Okay.
And I was thinking about a champion fighter, and he's losing the first rounds, and he's on the ropes, and it doesn't look great. But in those championship rounds, he comes to life, and he's bringing the heat. He is bringing the pain, and he puts his opponent on the canvas. And the next time he gets in a fight and that happens, you go, I've seen the rope-a-dope before. I've seen him. He's just smarter. He's better. He knows when to turn it on. He knows when to fix it. And you start believing that story. You start believing that narrative. If he hadn't done it last year, in the playoffs, he was the best player. Right?
Okay.
He was killing in the playoffs last year. The regular season, it was shaky, but in the championship rounds, he came through.
Let me ask you something.
Please.
Because I'm about to engage in something that you absolutely hate. You despise this, J Bell.
Okay.
This is one of the things that really it gets your goats. Whataboutism.
Oh, he hit me with the whataboutism. Oh my! I got a whataboutism.
Whataboutism.
Yeah.
Do you think Patrick Mahomes, without Andy Reid, is the best quarterback in football?
Well, I am a believer in the 2 P's,
Yep.
which is play caller and playmaker.
Mm-hmm.
It's my philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at Tom Brady, he had a play caller and a playmaker.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was the playmaker.
Yep.
He had a play call. He had a head coach. He had a playmaker.
He had him everywhere,
He had it good. So I think it goes hand
in hand.
I do. I believe you cannot have it. But we know elite talent will make you right. And those guys are elite talent. And the team believes in a guy who can just make it happen.
Yep. Okay. Fair enough.
I have a question for you, though.
Please.
Eli Manning, your boy, beat Tom Brady twice in the playoffs.
Yep.
Should he be considered one of the best quarterbacks ever because of that? I'm just saying.
Let me ask you a question.
What? I'm just saying.
No, you asked me a question.
Yeah, I
I
asked
you
you.
a question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I love Eli.
I myself won 2 Super Bowls against the same team.
Yeah. You beat the dynasty.
Should I be considered one of the best defensive ends ever because of that?
I think so, and I'm willing to put my vote on it.
No. Of course not. Was I a very good defensive end? Certainly. One of the best ever. Come on, man.
Oh, man.
Was Eli a great player? Of course he was a great player.
Yeah.
But I mean, come on.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, come on.
I
man.
try to set you up for the
Ever?
alley-oop. I try to set one of the best. I was just saying, I'm trying
One
to
of the
set you up
best
for
quarterbacks ever.
just in his generation for sure.
In his generation,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yes.
I just try to
Yes.
get the heat off of me.
Yeah.
Also, we got another team coming in here, the Jets. They're coming off the back of a bad game.
Yeah.
I mean, you lose 9-10, and I
Against
know
the
the weather was
Broncos.
bad against the Broncos. You're supposed to be able to score points, right? Your defense holds up like that. You got Aaron Rodgers. It's not happening. When I looked at it, I didn't like the game plan. I didn't like how it was executed. I feel like they weren't stretching the field vertically. But who cares about what I think? I like quotes. Okay? I like quotes.
Okay.
And Rodgers said, I can't say I had a spectacular game. I missed some throws. The weather sucked, but so did some of my throws. So taking some ownership
Yeah,
right there.
takes responsibility.
Yeah, he says when your defense holds them to 10, you got to win the game 100% of the time. I agree with that. That's on the offense. That's on me. Yeah, that's not good enough. He talked about some chances, some mental mistakes, but then Robert Saleh. He takes the stand, head coach, and he is the voice of reason, supposedly. Okay. And he was talking about something that happened with the cadence. He said, we got to figure it out, whether or not we're good enough or ready to handle all the cadences, because you had a lot of offsides, a lot of penalties. Cadence had not been an issue all camp. Felt like our operation had been operating pretty good. Obviously, today took a major step back. So, what do you think about that comment? And who was he talking to?
Well, obviously he was talking to Rodgers, but what I like, first of all, is what Rodgers did.
Yeah.
Right? Took accountability, took responsibility. I think that's what leaders do. Before you throw the blame on anybody else, you have to take responsibility for what you didn't do. Now, in terms of the cadence, they had a bunch of offsides penalties.
Yeah.
But what was important was what Saleh said early. He said this hadn't been an issue all camp.
Yeah, true.
Right?
Yeah.
So you've already put it out there that this hadn't been an issue all camp.
We
and
should
now
have highlighted
you wanna
that.
change things around simply because you made this one game. No. And what Rodgers came back and said a little bit later was, listen, I understand all of that, but maybe people should take responsibility.
Yes.
Which is exactly what he did. He took responsibility. So you're not going to go around and throw away everything that had been going right for you simply because this one time it went wrong. No, take responsibility. As a coach, as a player, you guys weren't ready to play, period.
If you want to watch a great game, you got to lock into this game in London, because what Osi said is the key. Now in the locker room, in the organization, the only thing that makes this right, that fixes all this, is a win.
Big win.
You got to win. They are going to be playing a get-right game.
There's been a little back and forth, it seems to me, between Saleh and Rodgers.
Yeah, for sure.
I think
it's a grasp for control.
A couple of weeks ago, I think Saleh came to dap him up, and then Rodgers kind of pushed him.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of heat around. I don't know if this is manufactured. They're around the same age, right? So I don't know what is going on here, but something seems to be amiss between these two people.
One thing Aaron Rodgers knows is the camera's always on him. He knows it. So those actions, he knows we're seeing.
You think so?
He knows he's always being watched. He's the quarterback.
Yeah.
He's the main dude. It's following him. So we are going to critique all of that. So what is he signaling? You might be onto something, but the only way to get it right is a win. If you don't get a win out here, it's going to be a bad flight home, and it's going to be tough. That's why the Minnesota Vikings need to be ready. That's why this game's going to be so great,
it's gonna be great.
So much going on.
I'm picking the Jets, by the way.
You pick, see, because you're thinking. I'm going with the Vikings, but you got a strong. I mean, that's legit. I mean, when you look about the your smell test. Your smell test?
Not yet.
Not yet. Oh my God.
Picking the Jets though.
Use that smell test for Baker Mayfield. He got a win over the Eagles 33-16, and there was some comments said by him in the media about Brady before. He said to the lines of he thought it was he knew it was different when he came in, making it more fun, bringing joy back in. And one thing they cut off about that is he said in the interview that they thought they weren't going to win that year. So it was like, hey, we might not be good, so at least let's make the team enjoy it. Yeah. And then they were good. But you can't say nothing about that, like about the GOAT, because he came back. So Brady's response, Osi, was, and I'm going to mess this up, but who cares? I thought stressful was not having Super Bowl rings. There was a mindset of a champion that I took to work every day. This wasn't daycare. If I wanted to have fun, I was going to go to Disney World with my kids.
Wow.
Of course, he says Disney World because it's in Florida and he lives in Florida. So, what are your thoughts of that? And you got to love that Tom Brady's in the booth now.
Listen.
He can say anything.
I loved the response by Tom Brady. Loved the response. The competitive juices, the fire, you could see it coming out of him. I hear what Baker Mayfield was saying. I get that. But, I mean, it did seem like a direct shot at Tom Brady, at the GOAT. And this man's way won championships for that team, for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And you're coming in here talking about having fun? What more fun can there be than winning a Super Bowl, buddy?
Totally
Something
agree.
you haven't done, Baker. I mean, come on.
Totally agree.
At the end of the day, I see both sides.
Yeah.
There are fine people on both sides.
They're fine people on both sides.
But I come down on the side of the GOAT Tom Brady here.
Yeah.
He's 100% correct.
Yeah. You got to like Baker Mayfield. He gives him moxie. You know he's playing hard. But, hey, we're critiquing everything you say in the media. And you know what? It's all about getting big wins. You know who else wished they would have got a win, but they didn't? They were on the other side of a beatdown. That was the Bills, because the Ravens, 33-10.
Yeah.
33-10. I'm over here hyping up Josh Allen. He's the MVP front runner. And all the Ravens did was show their formula. At this point in the season, you need to have your identity, right?
Yeah.
You've seen it. What are you? What do you do well? They have Derrick Henry and they have Lamar Jackson. And if you use them in the running game and you use both of their skill sets it puts the defense on skates. It is difficult to do. And we were talking, I was using a boxing reference earlier, and that run Derrick Henry did at the beginning of the game. All I was thinking, imagine you a kid and, you got to stand up. You get in a little scuffle, right? And if you get punched in the stomach real quick and you take it takes the air out of you, you're done.
You're done.
Finished. Even when you recover, you like, oh my goodness.
I just got punched.
That I don't want to feel that again. That's exactly what happened to the Bills defense.
Yeah, that was bizarre. I mean, they manhandled the Buffalo Bills. I don't know how you recover from something like that, to be completely honest. I don't. Because we're speaking about teams that, when we're speaking about the Minnesota Vikings, about how we don't believe. Bills, they were winning, but there still was that, not sure. And then the Baltimore Ravens put the hammer down on them, J. Bell, put them in their place.
It doesn't matter what you do in football. It's a physical game.
Yeah.
It's about if one individual can out-physical the other, you lose.
Yeah.
And the line of scrimmage, when you look at that play, everybody's blocked. Everybody's pushing somebody out of the way. And you got a big Mack truck running through the middle, and nobody wants to put him on the ground. There's something I always think about, and I got it from you when I evaluate teams. I look at the middle. I look at the strength. All the sexy players on the outside. Your team is tough by what's happening in the spine.
Yep, spine, right down the middle.
Can you stop the run, and can you run the ball? Those two things are essential. And I think your quote was a soft what?
Underbelly.
Yes, a soft underbelly. And once that's identified as a weakness, everybody goes at it. What I saw was one team who has an identity, and it is not a soft underbelly.
No.
And the other team, they were challenged like that, and that result, everybody's going to push that button.
100%, man. Buffalo Bills, man. They need to be on the lookout. Everybody is going to challenge them the exact same way the Baltimore Ravens did.
Baltimore Ravens right now are the front runner to challenge the Chiefs.
Who are the go-to players for the Buffalo Bills?
The issue is they talked about spreading the ball around, spreading the wealth around, but when it comes down to things aren't working, you got to have that guy. We talked about the Minnesota game earlier. When things weren't working on offense in the fourth quarter, when they were mounting, they had to mount Green Bay was moving. They had to change momentum.
Yeah.
They found a way to get Justin Jefferson the ball. They found a way, bro. Doubled him. He was doubled all game. Found a way. Who is your guy? Who is your go-to guy? They have, Khalil Shakir, Dalton Kincaid. The young guy missed a throw. Keon Coleman missed a big throw.
He's trying to get a deal.
But
he's too busy. He's too busy trying to get a deal.
I mean, Josh Allen put it right on him.
Yeah.
So you got to have that guy. And if you don't have that guy, there's the question mark. It was multiple drops. There it is. Josh Allen is still a superhero. It's early in the season, but when I look at this team, man, I look at that soft underbelly. Time to hit some quick hits, man. Some things that were really cool. We can rattle through these really fast. I just want to talk about Jaden Daniels, bro. 42-10. They beat down the Cardinals, man. This kid is flying. Things look different in Washington.
Listen, when you talk about him, 21 for 23, they say he's the most accurate passer through the first 4 games of anybody in history.
That's
he's like
wild.
85%.
That's
right?
wild.
They punted the ball once in the past 16 quarters. What they're doing offensively, Cliff Kingsbury, the offensive coordinator, Jaden, what they're doing offensively, we just didn't expect a rookie quarterback to be able to come in and do. He has the skill sets for today's NFL. A lot of people earlier, they were saying, well, maybe they should have taken him instead of Caleb Williams. And people were like, no, Caleb is the next Mahomes. But there were some people who actually had that thought.
Yeah, they did.
And it's looking that way right now.
You're right. And to our theme earlier about Sam Darnold and categorizing people and thinking they can't change, you mentioned Cliff Kingsbury. We thought we had his offense, what he did. This is who he is. Bro, he is something else. And he talked about now that he's not a head coach, he can really focus on calling plays.
Yeah.
Head coach has so much to do during the week, right? Now you just focus on getting your players in the best position and being the best play caller you can, and it's working. The Bengals get their first win, 34-24 against the Panthers. I don't know why I'm laughing. Panthers got a hard life this year. But that Burrow to Chase, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the Bengals' problem is defense. We saw Burrow to Chase. Yo, how does Jamar Chase make NFL athletes look like that?
Yeah.
That bad?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
They
phenomenal.
said that they asked him if he put baby oil on it, and he was like,
he
nah.
said, "Not no Diddy."
It's like you can't even talk about baby oil.
He said, "No Diddy, bro.
He
You
said,
got
"No
it. You
Diddy,
can't. You can't.
I
You
love
know what
that.
we doing?"
Yeah.
These
But
kids.
I tell you what though. Speaking
right.
of the Panthers,
Yep.
Andy Dalton played well again.
Yeah. He understands the offense. He's operating the offense.
Played well again. The Panthers are a better team with him at quarterback.
They are.
Which is crazy.
That O-line is good.
Yeah,
They can hold up.
they're good. They're
they're
not
better
a bad team.
No, they're a better team.
Was this guy that bad? Bryce Young, was he really that bad?
Man, you know what? A lot of people, this happened to me before playing corner for sure. When you lose your confidence, it's hard. A coach told me one time, you just got to get back like a batter and start swinging again.
Yeah.
You got to try. And usually you just got to go back to basics. He needs to get his confidence back because you're seeing this offense can flow without him in there. Our guy bounced back with the Raiders.
Big win.
AP, big win, 20-16. That defense stood up to the challenge.
Browns are a bad football team.
Browns got issues, and their quarterback. You know what?
Yeah.
This kills our whole argument about. I mean, well, it doesn't kill our argument. We thought he would be what he used to be.
Yeah.
And we've been hoping. That hope is gone, bro.
See, we're holding on to the past.
We're holding on to the past
Yeah,
with
with
Deshaun
this
Watson,
guy. Yep.
and it's gone.
Yep.
It is gone. And this one,
Doing too many TikToks.
It's
Man. Jay, like I stumbled upon.
where are we going?
No, J Bell. I promise you.
Okay.
I saw I was on Instagram.
Yep.
And I saw a thing of him. He was dancing, and I was looking at this, and I was like, he's still dancing.
He said, are you serious? I know. I know.
I wouldn't be able to.
I know.
I wouldn't be able to You wouldn't even be able to see my. I wouldn't be able to.
I'd just be on the field, and that's it.
You're dancing. You and your girl are showing off their lifestyles, and are you insane? What is this?
Bro. It's different.
What is this, Jason? What is it?
A lack of awareness. People are not aware, man. And I'm not even here to judge because I see people do it all the time. They couldn't care about nothing else. It doesn't matter.
My God.
I had to tell a guy off the other day,
Yeah.
driving home. He did this illegal move. We live by each other. And I looked at him afterwards, and I pulled up on him. He's like, "Oh, what's up, J. Bill?" I said, "Man, you almost ruined our friendship." I was like, we got kids. You put everybody in danger.
Yeah.
And he looked at me like, dumb-faced,
Yeah.
like, oh, my bad. Oh, you're right. The lack of awareness. He needed it. He just didn't care. And when I see people do this, they just don't care. They just don't care, and you can't fix it.
Can't. Is that that's where society is? Is that
Some
what
people
you're
don't
saying?
care, bro. You just let them, and don't waste your energy on them.
J. Bell,
I know what you mean, though.
you got a $200 and something million contract. The whole city is on you. You are playing like
boo-boo.
and you're still
Yeah, and that's when they hate you.
What?
You need to go in the lab with a pen and a pad
Period. And don't come out
until you get this new label off.
come
Like
out.
Dre said, you need to go in the lab, and when you come out, you got a hit, and nobody knows where you were. But that's the difference. That's
Crazy.
the difference.
Crazy.
Tom Brady is on to something, isn't he?
Crazy.
One thing I don't kind of want to discuss, but I do, Detroit Lions, they beat down the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah.
And the thing about it, 42-29, is that we talked about the Seahawks. They were undefeated to this point, but this was going to be their challenge, a tough one.
Yeah.
I feel like they'll bounce back from this, but,
How
they
about
just
Jared
showed.
Goff? 18 for 18.
I mean,
Perfect.
hey, man. Getting better.
Oh, wow.
This was my team to be in the Super Bowl, man. The Detroit Lions.
They're
Yeah, I
a
picked them.
good football team, J. Bell.
So that's it, man. It's that time, so I need a little power. So I locked into 888 Sport, the official partner of the NFL UK and Ireland, because it's picks time, OC. Yes, it is that time of the week.
Somebody hit me up about how bad my picks were the past couple of weeks.
You need to get some of that 888 power.
Yeah, I need some of that.
I need some. You ready for it?
I'm ready for it.
I'm going to give it to you.
Okay, please.
All right, first up.
Because you have it.
Hey, man. Hey, man, let's keep rolling. I've been tapping into the 888 source.
Yeah.
We got the Jets at the Vikings. What are you going with, OC?
Going with the New York Jets here. I think they're a desperate football team. They're going to come out here to London. Vikings playing great football. Jets win this one.
Next up, we got the Ravens at the Bengals. AFC North battle, OC. What are you thinking?
Just a disgusting, down and dirty game. I love this game. I can't wait to watch this game, but I think the Bengals are going to struggle on defense. I'm picking the Ravens to win this one, J. Bell.
Soft underbelly on defense from the Bengals and the defensive line. I think this Ravens running game takes over. I'm going with them for the win. We got the Cardinals at the 49ers, the NFC West. What are you thinking?
Cardinals just playing horrible football right now. Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison disappeared. We don't know where they are. I'm definitely going with the 49ers here to take this one.
I'm rolling with the 49ers on this. It's going to be close and competitive because they know each other well. Now we have the Saints at the Chiefs, OC.
Wow. Big game right here. I'm picking the Saints to win this one, though. I think the Chiefs take their first loss. Saints, a desperate football team, started off hot, kind of came down to earth a little bit, but I think they win this game.
This is a tough one. In Kansas City, I'm going with the Saints also, OC, for the win. Yeah, it's a tough one, though, man. I think this might be a misstep. The injuries from last week, let's see if they can overcome this. And last but not least, the Browns at the Commanders. What are you thinking?
Wow, the Commanders 3-1 under Jaden Daniels. The Browns 1-3, just an abysmal start to the season. I'm going with the Commanders here, man. Too tough for the Browns.
Man, I'm going on the line right now with the Commanders too. I want to see the young boy go out there and get it. That is Jalen Daniels with the Commanders. But those are our picks for Week 5. Head over to 888 Sport for all the odds. And remember, 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly. That's it from the Jason and OC podcast. Please subscribe on all the outlets, man, all the platforms. We really appreciate it. Click subscribe, click follow, download, all that good stuff. We really appreciate it.
You know what, though, Jason? You know what they're really going to appreciate?
What's that?
You're going to love this one, Jason, because I got on some boots, but I'm still showing some ankle.
You can't hide the money. Till next time.